Hello, this is Jedi Master from CodeForge, and welcome to part 2 of our Java Discord bot tutorial. Today we'll be doing a restructure of the bot to make it more efficient for expansion as we go forward, adding more commands and more features to our Discord bot. First of all, there's been an update to the interactive development environment that we've been using, so you may see a little pop-up asking you to install some updates. You can go ahead and do that. It won't change anything with our Discord bot. So the first thing that we need to do is change this name. While my event listener does work, as we begin to add more events, it's going to become a fairly vague name. Now, because this right here has to be the exact same as the file name, you can go rename the file and change it here, but it's actually probably easier to just create a whole new class and call it command handler and just delete this one. That should save a little bit of time. So we call it command handler. You can just go ahead and click finish. And then you can paste all of our old code over it and just make sure that you change this to be the right name. Now, because we're changes, we have to make sure that we change all other places that this occurs in our code. So we need to go over to main.java, which is where we added this event listener, and also rename it here, or else it'll still run the old one, which will create issues once the old one doesn't exist anymore. So now we can go and delete the old one from our project. And delete. So next what we want to do is we want to be able to speed up the way that we make our commands using a technique called abstraction. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to create a new Java class, and we're going to call this a module base. So this will become the basis for all of the different commands that we make, and will actually help make those much easier to write. So the first thing we need to do is we need to tell this that it's an abstract class. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a constructor to our new module base. So we're just going to say that it's a public module base. And we're going to go ahead and tell it to take a message received event. And I'm just going to call it event. Now, it's going to not like this because message received event needs to be imported. While you can import it manually up here, it's also possible to hover over message received event right here. And as we hover over it, you'll see this import right here appear, and you can just click import, and you'll see it adds it up here at the top for you. So that'll help you speed up as you code a little bit too. So the next thing that we need to do is we're going to give this a couple variables, our module base, a couple variables to help us out as we code to make things also a little bit easier to access. So first of all, we're going to add a string, which is going to be the command. We're also going to want to, of course, store the message received event. And the channel that the message was sent in, a user that, of course, that sent the message, but they also have another type of, users are stored in another data structure also known as member. So we want to store that one as well. And the guild, which is the Discord server that this was sent to. So as you can see, we still have all these red squigglies, and to get rid of these, we need to import the entities within the Java Discord API. So for that, we just need to import net.deviation, .jda, .core, .entities, and then .star so that we can grab all of those at once. Now what we need to do is take out this typo right here, and then we need to actually assign all of these variables within our constructor so that whenever we create a command, it will automatically assign all of these variables for us. So first we need to assign the command, so we can say this point command equals event point get message point get content raw. And next we can add the event, which is the easiest of these to add because we've already got it up here, right here. And then the channel that this is sent in, the user, the member, and the guild. So the last thing we need to do is create an abstract method called process. What an abstract method does is it's a method that's required to be created within all of the superclasses or the classes that are built based off of our module base. So to do this, we're going to create a process command, and within this process command, we're actually going to store all the actions that we want to be performed when our command is run in Discord. So in order to make this an even more efficient system, we can actually, within our constructor, tell it to call this method. So what we can do now is we can adapt our ping command that we wrote in our last video to fit within our new module base system. So in order to do that, I'm going to create a new class, and I'm going to call it ping. So then what we can do, instead of just going ahead and clicking finish, we can see the superclass area right here, and we can click browse. And if we type module base, you'll see very quickly that it appears right here. And you can just go ahead and select that, and then make sure down here that you check inherited abstract methods and constructors from the superclass. And what this is going to do is when you click finish now, you will see that when the ping class is created, it already has about 17 lines of code written here for us. And so you can see it's now added this process command that we had to have, and it's added a constructor for the ping that automatically takes in an event and hands it down into the module base, which will then assign all of these different variables for us. So now what we can do is we can adapt this right here, and since this is the only thing that the ping function does, we can just copy paste this whole line and put it into our process method for our ping. Now, while that seems to be not super helpful right now, what this is actually going to do is it's going to allow us to significantly simplify this command handler so that we don't have to put all of our commands in the same file, because eventually that's going to get to be very exceedingly difficult to find the actual command that we're trying to do all of our work with. So now, in order to actually get the bot to run the command, what we can do is we can say new ping, and we need to make sure that we hand it the event. So what this will do is it's going to create a new ping object, which in turn is an extension of the module base, which automatically will also run the whole process method that we've written right here in the ping file. So now that we've adapted our new ping command, we need to test this command and make sure that everything we did worked. So you can quickly run the application. And one thing that someone mentioned after the last video is that they get all these failed to load class. There are solutions that you can find by Googling to solve this issue. However, it's not really worth it, as it doesn't cause problems for your Discord bot to have those errors at the top right there. Specifically these ones that you see here. So now the bot's online, we can head over to my testing server and you'll see it's come online here, which is a good sign. Now if we just test it really fast, we can see that it responds to our command. So finally, and the last thing in this video that we need to do is we need to add one more command so that we can see how this actually helps us to speed up our process for adding new commands. So what we need to do here is we need to say else if. We're adding, basically we're telling it if it didn't see ping at the beginning. Now if we're going to see content point starts with, and if it starts with help, then we're going to create a new help event and run that. Now you're going to see it's going to go ahead and tell me that it doesn't like this, and that's because the help event doesn't actually exist. So you can now tell it you want to create a new class. We're going to call it help. Make sure that you go ahead and tell it to extend our module base like we did before with the ping method. You can finish, let it auto-generate what it will for you. Now I can come down here to process and just tell it channel point send message, and then we can just tell it to send a list of available commands. And then /n, we're going to use that to create a new line, and then we've got two available commands on our Discord bot now. We have ping and we have help. And then, as always, make sure that you queue the action, or else nothing will actually happen. It will not respond to said commands. It seems I've added one extra semicolon here, so let's just remove that and test the bot to make sure it works. So it started up. And we can go back here, we can try out ping, see it responds to that, and we can try out our help command. And you can see it responded with a list of available commands. So thank you for watching my tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment with anything that you liked, you didn't like, or anything you'd like to see in a future tutorial, features that you'd like me to add to this bot and show you how to add. Also, feel free to come join us on our Discord server or on our online forum. Thank you and good luck writing your Discord bot.